All right, folks, welcome to round two of the NRL season. Round one's one and done. I'm 42. This is Beef.
Good, mate. Good. Good to be back. Good that round one's in the books.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Good to have the footy back. Had something to do on the weekend. So who did you see in round one as was a good performance for you, mate?
Yeah, look, the Storm were just off the charts good, weren't they, right? So all the hype on the Rabbits, but, Bellamy's boys just don't seem to care, right? I mean, they just always find a way to win in round one, and they always find a way to just keep that Melbourne machine moving, right? So very impressive. In terms of disappointments, for me, it was the Tigers, right? I mean, I was really disappointed that I've had high expectations on them, but they look like the same old team, if not worse. So they got some improvement to do. What about yourself?
I agree. Storm were amazing. I think Panthers were also equally good. Cleary's just running that machine like a well-oiled machine. So, yeah, look, my Titans, really disappointing. Good opportunity to show that they had a bit of resolve. And while I think their defence was better, to only be able to score 6 points means there's massive problems with our attack inside the 20. 3 sets, repeat sets, we couldn't score.
Yeah, look, certainly, Fafita will be better, given he was a bit injured. But, where are your points coming from? That's a concern. So.
Yeah, super scary. So, moving on though, a few news stories during the week. What caught your eye?
Well, it wasn't really a news story. It was more what I saw when I was watching the footy on the weekend. And it was Anthony Seibold barking instructions from the Newcastle box, right? So Adam O'Brien, either you hired him to increase the average IQ in your box, given that he's such a literal genius, Mr. Mensa, or this just stinks of jobs for the boys, right? And for me, rugby league is a small incestuous game, and it seems to me like there's a bit of back scratching happening here, right? So Siebes, I look after your brother, but when the Knights finally get rid of me and have had enough, and think about me for an assistant gig in your next head coaching role. So, what about yourself?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, when I saw him in the coach's box, I had a bit of a head scratcher. What's going on? And look, leaning towards, I guess, a similar sort of vein is I don't understand the Des Hasler story. So started off where Sunday night he's going to lose his job. The very next night, no, he's extending his contract for 2 years because he's great for Manly. I continue to think of how he left Manly, however long ago it was, 8 to 10 years. And then he went on to the Bulldogs, did the exact same thing. And everyone forgets what he does to a salary cap. This guy's just...
he screwed that cap, the Dogs.
Yeah. So, look, I don't know what the story is. Look, he's through and through a Manly guy. He's played for him forever. But, I just think he is massively chance of getting the chop this year. So... But anyway, we'll move on to better things now. So we've got round two. Chance for teams that disappointed to improve. So round one, what a game again. Eels v Storm.
Yeah, geez, they've whoever's done the draw has certainly picked a couple of great games to start off with, right? So last week's was a cracker, and this one, Parramatta were a bit disappointing in the first half last week, and Brad Arthur said they didn't respect the Broncos, and I actually didn't think the Broncos played too badly in that first half, right? So, and in the end, it was a good game. It was a really good game, right? So much closer than I had anticipated. But this week, look, maybe this is a bit of anti-Melbourne in me, but I've got the Eels getting this one, right? Eels by 4 points. I just think they got a bit to prove, the Eels, right? And people still don't rate them, so this is their opportunity to show on the big stage against a big team that they can do it.
Yeah. Look, interesting. I think the scheduling has been fantastic, and I think they're really trying to prove that a Thursday night time slot's valid. Hence these two magnificent games to start both rounds. Yeah, agree. Eels were a bit scrappy last week, but the way the Storm come out last week, if they come out that way, they'll put 30 on the Eels if they play like they did against the Broncos. And I'm tipping the Storm to win pretty comfortably by 12. Early game Friday is Warriors v Knights.
This will be a good game, right? The Warriors were really good last week against the Titans. Even though the Titans were a little bit disappointing, the Warriors still were physical pack, right? And the Knights as well were pretty good, right? So Tyson Frizzell added a lot to their pack, I think, and this will be a great battle between two good forward packs. And look, I've got the Knights getting them in the end by 6 points. It's got a bit more to play for, I think, the Knights this season, right? So yeah.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
A couple of massive forward packs going at it. Adam Fanua-Blake was really, really good for Warriors. And the Knights, God, Saifidi and Clemmer just smashed it up, 200 metres each, basically. And then you've got, just a Rummy and Frizzell. Like, seriously, that's crazy forwards. I'm with you. I think the Knights by 8. Can't see the Warriors matching it with them this week. Knights are just a little bit better and a bit more polished.
A bit more class, yeah.
So moving on to the Battle of Queensland. So Titans v Broncos.
Where is it?
It's in Seabus.
Gold Coast? Right,
Yes.
on the Gold Coast, right. So, look, it wasn't going to change my pick. I just think the Broncos, the Broncos stink, right? So I'm going for the Titans. I think the Titans will get them. They got to show something a bit more in attack. I think David Fifita will be up for a big one. Mind you, the Broncos will be pretty keen to smash him as well, I think, which will add some excitement. But, I've got the Titans winning this one by 8 points.
Nice. Look, I'm really scared. I agree. Fifita will be up for it. Really wants to play well against his old team, obviously. Broncos were really, really good in that first half last week. And if they can repeat that, I don't think the Titans can match it with them. But I'm banking on them not being able to repeat. And I do think the Titans will get up in a squeaker by 2. So moving on to Saturday, the afternoon game, we've got the Dogs v the Panthers.
Yeah, a bit of a grudge match. Barrett against Cleary, right? Two good buddies who are now falling out a little bit in terms of fighting over players. Look, I just, how can you go against the Panthers given their polish last week, right? So didn't miss a beat considering it was an off season. They just look really good. I think they'll give it to the Dogs. I've got the Panthers winning this one by 14.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting to see how Barrett goes up against this. Only a little bit of inside knowledge, but really that's not going to help. I got Panthers by 13 plus as well. So yeah. They're just going to score a bunch. Then the early evening game, Manly v Rabbits.
Yeah, well, who could back Manly after their performance last week, right? So plus, Souths were, disappointing last week against the Storm, right? They would have expected better. And I think they're going to come out and they're going to absolutely give it to Manly again, right? So it's a bit tough on Manly, two big guns in the first 2 weeks, but I think the Rabbits will give it to them by 22.
Yep. Hard to disagree. Rabbits were not that bad against the Storm. And it's just that two of the gun teams of the comp, and I'm with you. I think Rabbits, I won't go 22. I'll go Rabbits by 14. So I'm hoping Manly can show a little bit of steel and be a little bit stronger this week. But boy, what a tough challenge.
Yeah. They're struggling with cattle at the moment. So tough for them. Tough luck for Desi.
Yes. Speaking of cattle, Cowboys v the Dragons, the late game Saturday night. I know that one's close to you, my friend. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Well, both teams were disappointing last week. Look, the Dragons down 14-0 reasonably early. Both tries coming from mistakes, right? So give mistakes in your defensive end, give the ball to the attacking team in good field position, you're always going to get punished, right? So that's a concern. I do have the Dragons bouncing back, of course, right? This is a heart rather than head. I just hope that Todd Payton continues to put the pressure on Taumalolo and keeps his minutes below 40 this week, right? So that would be rather handy, Todd, if you could try to send a few more messages to your team around that. So that will help us a lot.
Nice. I like the angle you took there. Maybe he'll peel the oranges for him at halftime too, mate. But really surprising. He's just such a really good, strong player. And I know they're looking after the longevity of his career. But if you've not got your best player playing minimum 60, 65 minutes, then what's the point?
He's a beast, right? So I think that's where he's at his best. And, so look, it'll be interesting to see the next few weeks on the Cowgirls.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think it'll change. The number of times you see Taumalolo sort of get handled reasonably well in the first half, and then he comes out and blows teams away in the second half. He might only have 40 metres in the first half, and he'll end up with 200 because he just runs over. So I hope that doesn't happen for you guys. Geez, hard. Cowboys at home. I'm gonna run with the Cowboys by 4. So then we move on to the Sunday games, Tigers versus Roosters.
Yeah, Tigers, Roosters. Roosters missing a couple. Roosters was sensational last week, right? So Teddy, even though he only got 1 point in the Dally M's, how did he only get 1 point in the Dally M's, right? I mean, how ridiculous. But, they were very good, the Roosters. They were down on some troops. But, they're going to be down a few more this week, right? And I think the loss of Friend, given that they don't have Sam Verrills playing as well, I think at the moment, is a big out. Look, Madge will be smashing the Tigers for their performance last week. I know I'm a sucker for punishment, so I'm going to take the Tigers to win this one in an upset by 4 points, right? BJ Leilua to score the winning try.
Wow.
Unless he's sin binned.
I got no words. Realistically, it's really funny to see you scratching for roughies in round 2. But look, I agree. The lack of Friend this week might make a difference. I clearly jumped on Lusick in my fantasy team. It's just far too good. And Tigers, once they showed glimpses of maybe what they could be this year.
Look, Tigers showed nothing. I mean, Joe Offahangawi, I saw him out there on the field a couple of times. I'm thinking, this is the reason why the Broncos got rid of you, right? Look, very often in rugby league, it's just about attitude, right? In sport, and if you come with that right attitude, then you're a big chance. So anyway, I mean, I'm not sure what they're paying on Sportsbet, but I'll make sure I put a couple of 1,000 rupiah on it.
Nice. Yeah, and look, I'm with you with BJ Leilua. Someone get him off Instagram and Snapchat and whatever else he's bloody on. He's just a loose cannon, and when he's on, he's a good player. But gee, it doesn't take much to tip him over.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I just see him as one of those guys that you look at and you say, well, that's a wasted contract, right? So.
And then the final game of the round, Sharks versus Raiders.
Sharks Raiders. Well, I'm all over the Raiders on this one, right? I don't rate the Sharks at all. Their forward pack was pretty good last week against the Dragons, right? But I just think Canberra's just got too much class in both forwards and backs, right? So I'm backing that the Raiders are going to take this one by 12 points.
Yeah. Well, I can't see the Sharks even contending in this. Raiders just far too good. He'll just get better with a little bit of game as well. He's just a gun hooker.
Yeah, agree.
So that just rounds out round number 2. Mate, well, best luck with your tips. And
no problem. All right. Good luck. Enjoy your footy.